What's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse, here in HBCU Pulse Studios. We have a special guest. Oh my gosh, like the kid in me is like, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. But I am on the phone with Syleena Johnson, who she sang the hook on All Falls Down. Ms. Johnson, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm I'm baffled right now. I can't believe I'm on the phone with you. It's crazy.
Well, it's real.
Like,
Okay.
I used to listen to All Falls Down all the time, and it's Founders Day. And first is, how are you feeling? It's Founders Day, 101 years of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. How are you feeling?
Well, it's bittersweet. Um, Last year, we were so lit. We were so excited for our 100. Anybody knows me knows, Zeta, I bleed blue. And so be blue and white rather. But I kicked off the centennial celebration in DC at Howard University. It was hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of Zetas there. And it was just phenomenal. We had a huge, huge convention. We had fashion shows. We had Vivica Fox, who is now our soror. Lamont Rucker were there. It was just outrageous. Shaka Khan was there, who was also now our soror. And it was just amazing. And we were ready. I was booked to perform at our boule, which was going to be our big centennial celebration. We had a weight loss challenge going. We were going to give prizes at I'm telling you, we had Mary J. Blige was booked to perform at the boule. I mean, it was getting ready to be outrageous. And then COVID takes our entire year, our entire 100 years. So of all the organizations, COVID takes off,
Right.
So it's bittersweet for me because, coming into 101, we're still battling this deadly disease, this deadly virus. We're still battling the stings of social injustice that we had to deal with. And we had to see, being historically Black Greek organization, being founded at an HBCU, we still, all of that still, it's one and the same. It still impacts how we feel. It impacts who we are as a culture. So not only do we have to deal with a deadly virus, but we also had to deal with the virus of racism, which is the reason why we created Greek organizations in the first place, because they wouldn't allow us to be in, the white organizations. So 101 is exciting, but it's frustrating because I'm sure we've lost a lot of people who were Greeks to coronavirus. And I'm just, it's just bittersweet. We're excited, we're going to celebrate, but it's just bittersweet because we didn't get to celebrate our 100 like we wanted to. And then 101, we're still coming into the new year with racism and increased numbers in COVID, So I would be lying to you if I said, oh, it's going to be great, because it's not. We're going to be in our homes again. We're going to be, celebrating on the internet. Now we're going to make it do what it do. And we're going to turn up at the house.
But let's get into your college journey. So tell us a little bit about your college journey, because I think it's something that our audience really needs to hear.
Well, I got a partial academic scholarship to Drake University out of high school. And at the time, we did not have Zetas we didn't have a chapter. We had a grad chapter, which was Nu Mu Zeta. We didn't have an undergraduate chapter. The undergraduate chapter was Epsilon Nu. That was in Iowa State. And they were trying to make it a charter chapter. Now, I'm a legacy. My sister's a Zeta from Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. So I grew up around Sigmas and Zetas my entire life. Also, the men in my family, though, are brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi. So 4 of my cousins are Kappa Alpha Psi, and then my sister is Zeta Phi Beta. Now all of my sisters are Zetas. The other 2 sisters I have were all Zetas. But so in my mind, I was going there, I always want to be Greek, I always want to pledge, and I got accepted also to Hampton University, which was where I really wanted to go in the first place. But Drake University, because it was kind of like Ivy League, private institution, they offered more money and financial aid. So that was that was to my knowledge, that was the best route. But I had more, you know what I'm saying, mentoring, I probably would have gone to Hampton. That's where I really wanted to go. It was either Hampton or Juilliard. And so I went to Drake University, and one of the elders, one of the older grad sorors, wanted to create a undergraduate chapter, right? But you needed to have 5. So they put 5 of us, you know, they gathered 5 women. First I went to informationals with Upsilon Nu, but then Upsilon Nu wanted to take me at Iowa State, take a couple girls to Iowa State, but they wouldn't let them. The grad chapter stepped in at Drake University and was like, New Museum was like, no, we're gonna create our own, you know, undergraduate chapter. So I was supposed to be the founder of the undergrad chapter, you know, one of the founders of an undergrad chapter at Drake University. So it was 5 of us to begin with. You know, it started out 5, okay? And New Zeta put us through, you know, in the intake process. And along with some city Zetas, okay? So are you Greek?
I'm not.
Okay, well, the Greeks in the world know what I'm talking about, okay?
They do.
We went through the process, and two did not make it, okay? Two did not make it. And so 3 was 3 ended up going through the intake process. And so we had, because it wasn't 5, we had to take on the name of New Mu Zeta. We had to take on the graduate name. But we were undergrads, okay? So my line, ZSLSTB, ZS Lady Sings the Blues. We crossed spring '96 on Drake University. At Drake University, our process was 6 weeks, 2 days, 55 minutes, okay? We won't go into that. But yes, so that was where I was created as far as Zeta Phi Beta is concerned. But then I transferred right after that to Illinois State University. And I transferred officially into an undergrad chapter, which became my real home, which became my working chapter, which is Lambda Epsilon. Shout out to them, I love them. And from there, that's where I practiced, you know, all of my Zeta duties. I became bacillus while I was there. And but as soon as I became bacillus, of that chapter, Lambda Epsilon, I got a record deal. I got called to sign a record deal with Jive Records, so I had to hand over my duties to the first Anti, which was my granddaughter at the time. Or actually, not my granddaughter, my sister. We both had the same mom, Pledge mom. But I had to give over my duties to Trina, which was the first Anti, and then I dropped out of school. I dropped out of college to pursue my music career. And that's pretty much the way it was. So I stayed active all the time. Right now, I'm not a life member, but I am working towards being a life member. I dropped out of Illinois State University to be a recording artist, but then in 2015, I went back and finished up my degree. I switched my major to nutrition science, and I got my degree at Kaplan University online, because after I had children, it was impossible for me to, you know, and being a recording artist and kids, it was not possible to go on a college campus. So I finished my degree online, and I have a BS in nutrition science. And that's that.
So I think it's just amazing that you had that amazing journey, and then you went back to get your degree, and you made an Instagram post about it when you graduated. But I want you just to explain to the Pulse audience, like, what made you go back to get your degree? Because I think that especially during this time of the coronavirus, the pandemic, that our audience needs to hear that. So what made you go back?
My sisters, both of my sisters are Zetas. We are very close, but both of my sisters have doctorates, and they're professors. They teach at colleges. So to me, it was like, girl, you know, you got to bridge the gap. You can at least have your bachelor's. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about no doctorate, you know, but they have doctorates. They have master's degrees. They have triple bachelors. You know what I mean? Like double. They have double bachelors. Like, they're very, 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 very. They're very, very smart, and they're excelled in, you know, education. Very excelled in education. And so I wanted to bridge the gap. And I didn't want to have spent all that money in student loans and financial aid and not been able to have something to show for it. You know, when you go to you go buy something at the store, you don't just leave, give them the money and then leave the item at the store. So, you know, I wanted to go back and I wanted to finish my degree, and I changed my passion. My passion had become so, I was so invested in nutrition and health, nutrition and fitness, that I felt like, you know, this is what I really should have probably, you know, started out as in college, you know. But when coming up in my day, they would have, like, I was recruited because I was a student. I was like an honors student, I had all honors classes. I graduated 3.9 GPA. So they recruited me from Drake University, and those were the only people that came to the school, the high school, which was an inner city school. You know, we didn't have much of that anyway, but they came and recruited me at the school. So to me, I was like, oh, well, you know, Black people at that point in time, you know, school coming to recruit you, the private school, you know, great education. It was like one of the top law schools. It was Division I, top law schools in the country. You know, Drake University, they had their own library and everything, you know, in Des Moines, Iowa. But I majored in psychology and minored in theater first. But then that was boring to me. So then I switched it to music because I was like, well, it's easy. But had I had a real advisor, you know what I'm saying? I would have been able to really understand what I'm really and truly passionate about. I've been working out and into fitness and health and education, health education, since I'm a child, right alongside music, you know, working out and you know, my dad had gardens in the backyard, you know, so we were into health and fitness at a very young age. So I should have gone into health and fitness and just did that in the beginning. I probably would be a doctor by now, you know, because I wanted to be a doctor when I was younger, when I was a kid. So yeah, I mean, I went back because of my sisters.
So let's just hop into like what I really want to talk about. All Falls Down, which is how I was introduced to you. So how did that come about? And it's a line that rings true to me. Like Kanye said at the end, Syleena, you're like a safety belt. You saved my life. I feel like there's a deeper story. So how did All Falls Down come about?
So I was recording chapter 3 in LA, and Kanye is from Chicago. We decided to work together for chapter 3. He was creating a song. I was working on a song called Bullseye, which is on my 3rd album. It's myself, Kanye, and Common. And while I was working on that record in one room, Kanye was working on finishing up the College Dropout in another room. So, you know, in this particular studio is different rooms, right? And so while I'm doing that, he's got deadlines because apparently the album was up to the deadline, you know. So I'm in the studio. It's like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. We're getting ready to leave. And he's like, I'm writing my own record. He's coming in and out. Okay, I'm doing this, doing that. I think he was working on Get 'Em High. He was working on Get 'Em High. And he was working on me and mixing and finishing up the album. So he comes, he's like, Syleena, you know, I got this record. You know, I need a singer on. I've been trying different singers and they ain't been working. He was like, man, it's just, you know, can you come take a listen, see if you could do it. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, it's early, but it's late. You know, in the studio time is late, but for us, it's early. I mean, because we stay in the, you know, at this stage in my life, I'm in my late 20s. I'm like, this is all we do is stay in the studio all day anyway. So we go next door, and he plays a record, and it has Lauryn Hill Mystery of Iniquity sample. I'm telling you, oh, you know that. It all falls down. You know, and that was like the little piece in there that he had. So I go in the booth. He's like, well, this is all you have to do. You have to sing this part. I'm telling you, oh, it all falls down. You know, just go in there. So I'm singing it over and over and over again. And I'm singing it just like her because I'm thinking in my mind, he wants the Lauryn Hill sound, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to duplicate exactly what she's doing, which is easy for me because we have the same tone. So I'm trying to duplicate, you know, the same kind of concept, and it's working. So then he stops and he's like, man, can you do what you do? You know, do what Syleena do what you want to do, like mix it up some. Because if you do it exactly like it, you have to pay for it a certain kind of way. It can't be copyright control. It's a sample. Copyright control means if I sing a whole record exactly like another artist, copyright control. I won't have to worry about trying to get a sample or clearance or any of that because I just duplicated the whole. So they're going to get their same publicists, same publicity. I mean, not publicity, same publishing, same writers, same all of that, right? But if you sample a piece of a record, you take a piece of it, you have to pay for that. So, and if you take it, and if you, even if you sing it the same way, it's still taking a piece of it. So if you switch it up, they have like librarians and everything and lawyers on standby where they keep sending it and sending it to them to run it through a system to see if it's going to be, if you have to pay for it, if it's too close, if it's, if it's far enough. So that's where I'm telling you, doing those different, and putting the voices and stacking it and all of that. So I did all of those things to make it different. And then I sang it, did all that, and then everybody was just looking. It was just him and this other guy, his A&R, and it was like, okay, thank you very much, Syleena. And I was like, all right, well, y'all let me know what y'all want to do. Good night. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I get to my hotel room and it's 4 hours later, they want to call me at 10 a.m. and I didn't just got into bed at 7. But they called me which is probably one of the best calls, of history, I guess, of some of my career history. And they were like, well, the single's coming out next week and we're going to shoot the video and this, that. And it wasn't even like, hey, do you want to do it? And it was just like, all right, thank you very much. The single is coming out next week. We want to go first and this, that, and the third. And like a week later, I'm driving in my car and here comes the song on the radio. And wow. I was like, oh, okay. And then it was, hey, we need you to come shoot the video. And people don't know I was actually in the video. I was the lady at the desk. Remember when Station Dash came in? Because he didn't want the video to be like your average, hey, I'm doing the hook and you doing the this. So I was at the front desk giving the tickets. Common was at the gate. And I was supposed to come back at the gate, but I didn't know I was supposed to come back. So I thought I was wrapped and I left early. He was like, you're supposed to come back and be the ticket lady at the gate. You know how when you be in the airport, the lady be at the check-in and then you see a lady at the gate. So I was supposed to be at the gate, but I didn't know I was there. I thought I was wrapped. Because the producer, the man doing the video, thought I was wrapped too, because apparently Kanye wasn't telling him what he was supposed to be telling him when he was supposed to be telling. But yeah, so that's how All Falls Down happened. And then after that, Kanye took me on everything with him. We went overseas. We went on all the David Lettermans, the Jay Leno's. We performed everywhere doing the show. And it was myself, him. He would take me, Ben Marie, and John Legend. And so it was me, John, and Ben Marie, and Kanye in every show, just doing All Falls Down.
Wow. So you went on tour with him, and I feel like that really just was such a game-changing moment. So outside of just the tour and going on tour with Kanye at that point after the song came out, how did like that song change your career?
It changed my career because it made my stock go up. So, any other hook I did after that, I could charge a pretty penny because of it being such a massive, massive record. It also brought more eyes to me, obviously, more credibility. I have, if you go down the discography of Chapter 3, you'll see so many major artists on that album, because after that record came out, it was like, yo, because my album hadn't come out yet. My album I was still creating it. After that, I had all these producers wanted to work with me on that album because in their mind, oh, she getting ready to blow up. You see what I'm saying? She getting ready to do her thing. And so that's when it was Jermaine Dupri and, all these different, artists were on this album. I was blessed to be able to work with. And it just, still to this day, I get checks from All Falls Down. That's because of Sound Exchange and streaming, artists fighting for royalties for the internet. So like if you hear our songs on the internet now, you have to pay us. We get money for that. We have streaming companies that pay us for that. When back in the day, when it first started out, remember LimeWire and Napster and all that, they were just playing our stuff and downloading our stuff for free, and we weren't getting paid for it. So because of these new streaming companies and us fighting, the laws, we're able to get paid now for our music being played on the internet, especially when now that's the primary way you even hear music.
Wow. So I want to ask you this then. So, of course, you are a Zeta woman and you crossed April 20th of 1996 at Drake University. So, how did being a Zeta woman help you as far as networking within the music and media industry? Because, of course, you have your singing career and also you have Sister Circle. So, did being a Zeta woman help you as far as that networking aspect?
Oh, absolutely. Being Greek helps you as far as networking anywhere in this world. You know what I'm saying? Um, Being Greek is, it is a huge networking opportunity. It's a huge, um, there's so many different opportunities that have been allotted to me because I'm a Zeta. You know what I'm saying? I've made money even being a Zeta, bookings. So many of my sorors booked me for shows and regional conferences and different things. I would not have been able to have that opportunity had I not been Greek. You see what I'm saying? And then just being able to connect with people on other levels, connect with other professionals, as well as being able to connect with and make money with my brothers, Phi Beta Sigma. Are the constitutionally bound, the only organization that has a constitutionally bound a brother fraternity is Zeta Phi Beta. It's really Zeta Phi Beta Sigma. That's the full name. That's our full name. We are true brothers and sisters. Right? We share the same colors. So for me, it has been excellent to be able to connect on both levels, and not just that, being Greek alone. So many of my Delta Sigma Theta sisters are such close friends. And, I was also the vice president of NPHC when I was at Illinois State University. And what was so ironic is it was almost like I was meant to be there with that chapter, because the chapter that I transferred into, they crossed April 21st, spring 2020, the line that just crossed. The intake that had just happened April 21st, 1996. And it was 5 of them. It was 5 of them, and it was 3 of us. So it was just like meant to be. But anyway, still to this day, I still connect with, and let me tell you, there have been times where I've had some very hard times in my life, and I have been able to call my pledge father and my sorors and my pledge mother and my ships and things of that nature, and been able to, they come through. Like, when you do something on the shield, there's no choice. You have to do it. That's another thing that I love about the Greek organization, the loyalty. The loyalty. If someone is homeless and they're Greek, you have to help them. If my brother a brother of Phi Beta Sigma is without, and we need to help him, he's homeless, it's our obligation to make sure he's okay. That's what Greek organizations are African American Greek organizations are built on, building each other up, utilizing each other as resource. You know what I'm saying? Because, and if you think about it, it is actually one of the most, it is probably the most important thing that we as Black people should be adapting. And in college, to have had that be created, because we were shut out of other things. That, like, what I'm trying to say is, here in America, without being Greek or anything, we're just now realizing, well, your generation is just now understanding how important it is to connect and push each other, buying Black, organizing Black, integrating within yourself, integrating within ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Putting ourselves first, putting each other first, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get more engaged in our history dating back to Africa, you know what I'm saying? Connecting with the motherland, you know what I'm saying? So that back then, that was the norm. We had to do that because nobody wanted to be with us because they were prejudiced, they were racist against us. So we didn't have a choice but to, connect and collaborate with each other. We didn't have a choice because nobody else wanted to work with us or be with us anyway. You know what I'm saying? So within the Greek organization, if you think about what it was founded on and why it was founded, is so important because the basis was to create our own, And that now is the basis that we're just now coming to realize, watching all this stuff happening in our world, understanding that racism is still very much alive and well and brewing and worse than ever. You know what I'm saying? It's worse because it's hidden. You know what I'm saying? And understanding how urgent it is that we have to connect and integrate within our own culture. And I don't think that we can really, navigate in America, at least, properly until we take care of ourselves. It's like the whole saying, I can't take care of my kids if I'm a mother unless I take care of me first. It's the same concept with our people. You have to be able to take care of and love your own self and culture, which is starting off with looking yourself in the mirror every day and loving what you see, and then loving the next person next to you and what you see in them as well, making reservations and giving grace to your brother and sister. And then you can go into the world and act right.
Right. And I think that's powerful. And I think that this is a great segue. So you have a lot of your undergraduate sorors that are starting their semester in a few days, or they already have started it. And it's a pandemic. It's so much craziness going on in Washington. There's so much just to deal with as they approach this Founders Day. So what is your message to your undergraduate sisters as we start this year?
First of all, wear a mask, social distance. Don't play with this virus. I don't care what you think. I don't care what your beliefs are. And if you don't agree and you want to party and be stupid and be out there partying and being dumb and stuff, you got plenty of time to party in your life. Trust me. You want to make it to that time to party. So wear a mask and social distance. Follow the guidelines of what has been told to us as far as COVID is concerned. That's first and foremost. Because if we don't do that, there's no purpose of even talking about what you need to do. And you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be okay. And here's the thing, maybe you don't care that you get it, but you should care that you could give it to others. So wear your mask and protect yourself so that you can protect others. At least care about others. If you don't care about yourself, care about others. That's first and foremost. Number two, for my sorors, keep that mindset. Keep that same energy of Centennial 100, because it was stolen from us. That year was that energy was stolen from us. And there's nothing that says that we can't continue to celebrate it. There's nothing that says that we can't continue. It's like having a birthday and you be like, this is my birthday month. Well, this is our birthday next 5 years, because clearly it was stolen from us. So we got to make it up, So I would say to my sorors, still be proud, still celebrate as much as you can, and be optimistic. It's very easy to be pessimistic coming into 2021 because of how it's starting. It's almost starting like a fool starting out the gate already. Like this morning, a friend of mine passed away.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Like right before I got on with you, I just found out a friend of mine passed away. While that's going on, I'm talking to my other girlfriend. She found out her sister's husband may have COVID. So it's a lot. Friends of mine, close friends of mine. You guys probably have heard that Claudia Jordan was diagnosed with COVID-19 as well. She's fine. She's better. She talked about it on Cocktails with the Queens last week, but she's fine and better. You know what I'm saying? But these are people that are my friends that are close to me that, all automatically. And let's not even get into the Capitol, because we'll be here all day. I just hope that they do impeach Trump and get him out of here, because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing his name. I'm sick of everything about it. Because he really botched the whole 2020. He actually botched his whole presidency. So I would just tell him to be optimistic. Think of it this way. 2020 started off lit. And then it was like, God was like, wait a minute. I got a trick for you, right? So 2021 could be the opposite, where it starts off bogus, but then it end up lit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to stay optimistic.
I definitely think that this whole interview is going to be something that people look at and is going to inspire them, not just, the Zeta women that are in the undergraduate chapters around the world, but also just the HBCU community. So I want to say thank you so much for doing this interview. And just one last question. We want to support you and everything you're doing. So where can we find you and what do you have coming up?
Oh my goodness. You can find me on my Instagram is Syleena Johnson. My Facebook page is Syleena Johnson Official. Twitter is Syleena _ Johnson. And please, you can find me on Fox Soul. That's my family, Fox Soul. Today is our 1-year anniversary. We're 1 year old. I came into the Fox Soul family in April, so I've been with Fox Soul for 9 months of that 1 year. So I do feel like I am part of the family. I would say watch Cocktails with the Queen, and actually watch Fox Soul, because Fox Soul is now the hub for Black content. Just go to Fox Soul and look at all the shows on YouTube. It's on Tubi, it's on Roku, it's on it's on all of the all streaming platforms. And Cocktails with the Queens is 9 p.m. Eastern every Monday night. Also, right before Cocktails with the Queens, I have Music Mondays with all types of music entertainers and people in the industry. Music Mondays is super duper lit. We have a DJ, it's popping. Also on Fox Soul, my 4-part documentary, the first 2 parts of Making of a Woman is out, and please go see that. That's dope. Real dope documentary. It's about my time, how I am as a woman on the road and the different challenges we face. And it's just very, very dope as an entertainer. And the album Woman is out right now, that goes along with Making of a Woman. And Making of a Woman Deluxe album is coming out this year. Also, my Unsung is coming out this year on TV1, so be on the lookout for that as well. And you can get a hard copy of my CD if you go to my website, which is www.syleenamusic.com. An autographed copy, you can get an autographed copy of the CD. And for anything else, just go to my website, SyleenaMusic.com, and my Instagram page is all things Syleena. Constantly moving, constantly working. That's what I do. And I'm sure some Zeta things will be coming up as well. Some things, some collaborations with my sorors. So just be on the lookout for everything that I'm doing. Our founders is coming. If anybody know me, they know I could get it popping for founders. So be on the lookout for a video, because I'm gonna turn up. Because I can't turn up in real life, but I'm gonna turn up in my house in the hallway, and I'm gonna post it. So yeah.
Most definitely. And we love to see the growth. We love to see the progression. Thank you so much for coming on. Listen to the Randall Barnes Experience, HBCU Pulse Radio.